Welcome to the Next Level Facebook Ads Podcast with Phil Graham. We help you master Facebook ads and give you an unfair advantage over your competition. Are you ready? Let's go.
What's up, everybody? Phil Graham here. Welcome to the Next Level Facebook Ads Podcast, episode 341. Today, I'm going to be talking about unlocking the secrets of high-performing Facebook and Instagram ads. So most people who are either failing with their ads, or maybe they're not necessarily failing, but not making as much money as they would like to make, most of these people kind of blame it on Facebook or the economy or some other outside source. But usually those things are not the problem. It's usually the person or people running the ads. They're usually running ads that suck. And just like elite athletes have certain fundamental things in common that make them great, so do many high-performing Facebook ads. And today, you're going to learn what those things are and how to leverage them for yourself. In fact, you can use what I'm going to teach today as a checklist to make sure that you check off as you're creating your next ad, and it could be very, very valuable for you guys. So I'm super excited that you guys are here. I cannot believe it. If you're in the US like I am, there's only 2 days until Thanksgiving. If you're listening to this on the day it comes out, the year has gone so fast. So I hope you guys, if you're in the US, are going to have a wonderful Thanksgiving and great weekend and Black Friday and all that good stuff. If you want to connect, whether you're looking for some one-on-one coaching, or you want somebody to run your ads for you, or maybe you just have some questions about something you've heard on this podcast, you could either go to my website, philgrahamdigital.com. You can DM me on Instagram at philgrahamdigital, or you can join our free Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/nextlevelads. And I would love to connect with you. So I want to jump right into the content and start by emphasizing a few things. High-performing ads are not just about the content or your information you provide or the product or your service. They're not just about how great you are or how successful you are. Most people get this all wrong, and then they wonder why their ads aren't working. There's a lot more to high-performing ads, and you're going to learn that today. So I'm going to cover what I consider the elements of high-performing ads to be, and not every ad will have these elements because there's different ads for different reasons. But some of your most important ads, you should definitely be following this formula or at least testing it, because it's proven to be very, very powerful for us, and I definitely recommend it for you guys as well. So what are these elements for high-performing ads? Let's start with the first element of high-performing ads, and that is trust and credibility. Because it's not just about the information in the ad or what you're teaching them or getting them excited about or what your product is or service is or whatever your lead magnet is. It's not just about that. They need to actually trust you and know that you're credible to either teach them whatever you're teaching them or sell them what you're selling them. They need to trust you, either you personally or your brand or both. It's not just what you say, it's also how you say it. I can't emphasize that enough, my friends. Most people only focus on their message or their product or service. But again, who is offering that is what's really important. It's equally important as whatever you're selling or offering. They need to feel like they can trust you or your company, whether it's just with shipping a product or learning valuable information. They need to know that you know what you're talking about, that you're credible, or that you're going to offer great service, things like that. So it's really important. What you say is important. How you say it, of course, is very important. And you can get trust and credibility across a number of different ways in an ad. You can certainly do it by teaching them something, because giving value is a great way to build trust and credibility. Another thing you can do in an ad is to have some kind of a customer or client review or case study or something like that. And maybe you're going to have that in your ad. Maybe you're going to have that in retargeting. There's various ways to do it. But when you're creating your ads, just know that trust and credibility is definitely an element from many high performing ads. And so I highly recommend you find a way to incorporate that into at least some of your ads because it's so important. Element number 2 that I want to talk about is relatability and authenticity. This is so important. And again, I want to just say this again. Not all your ads are going to follow this formula and have all these elements, but I would definitely have some of them do that without a doubt. So keep that in mind. Relatability and authenticity. This is so important because a lot of times when somebody is looking at your ad, if they feel like you've never actually been in their situation or felt how they feel, however that is, then it's going to be a tough time connecting with them. So you've got to be authentic. You've got to be relatable. Whether you're teaching something, whether you're just selling something, whatever the case is, there's always a way to be relatable and do it genuinely. You don't want to make this stuff up. It's got to be true. So whatever the case is, were you ever in their situation? And if you were, can you somehow talk about it in your ad, even if you're just briefly mentioning it or alluding to it? If so, that could help build trust and help them know that you know what they're going through or what they want or what they need or what's best for them or how to fix their problem. There's a lot of different variables, of course, here for this, but relatability and authenticity is very important. You definitely want to have that in some of your ads. The next element that is super important for successful ads is empathy. I do not see this very much, and it just blows my mind because empathy is so important. Now, a lot of you probably do have empathy and care about your customers and clients, but they don't know that. They don't know you yet. And think about all the ads they see and all the messaging they see, and then you're just another one of the many until they know who you are. So you need to not only have empathy and really care about your audience and your customers and clients, you need to actually communicate that. Don't assume that they already know you or that they know that. You've got to communicate that in their ad. And just like I was talking about with relatability, you need to really convey that you understand them and whatever their situation is as it relates to what you sell. No matter what kind of business you have, whether you're selling a product or a service or a digital course or a local business, no matter what, there's always a way to connect with your audience, to have empathy, to care about them, to understand them, and communicate that in your ads. You can do that in your ad copy with the text. You could do that in a video ad. There's many different ways to do it, but so many of our high-performing ads have empathy in them. And again, it's real. It's genuine. We're not making this up. If you make it up, they're probably going to see right through it, and you don't want to do that. So make sure, obviously, that it's real. The next element I want to cover for high-performing ads is differentiation. This is so important because if your ad and your messaging is not different from all the masses of ads out there, then how are you ever going to get their attention in the first place? You know, if you're not different, if you can't hook them, if you can't get their attention, nothing else you say or do matters to that person if they don't know it, right? So you've got to be able to differentiate with how it looks, with what you say, with how you say it, all of the above. It's so important. You know what a lot of people do, which is nuts? They look at especially competitors and see what other people are doing, and then they run ads that are similar, which is nuts because they're just blending in instead of standing out. And they don't realize that so much of the time they're actually copying ads that are losing money in the first place. It's crazy. And then they blame something else for the reason that they're not succeeding. You've got to differentiate. So if anything, you should be looking at what competitors are doing so that you can do something completely different than them. So you stand out, because that's going to help your ads a lot versus just blending in and not getting noticed. The next element is a no-brainer. but obviously having great content in the ad. And I like to use my formula. I like to educate, entertain, inspire, and differentiate. If you can do all those things in an ad, then there's a darn good chance, as long as you know what you're talking about and you're helping them, there's a great chance that they're going to think that the content is great, because it probably will be. So depending on what you sell and what the ad is for, whether you're selling something or giving something away or just educating somebody, there's a million different ways to do this. But I had to mention it. It's a no-brainer, but you definitely obviously have to have great content. That is one of the most important parts of a high-performing ad. The next element is going to be a clear and compelling offer. It needs to be very simple and very concise. A lot of people make the mistake of having offers, whether it's an offer to buy something or to sign up for something or download something or attend a webinar, whatever it is. Most people make the mistake of making it complicated, way too wordy, not simple. And sometimes they even make more than one offer, like sign up for this or buy that. And if you give people too many choices, they're probably going to choose nothing, which is not good. So in the ad, whether you're selling something, like I said, or you're giving something away, make sure it's clear, it's compelling, it's very simple, and it's concise, and it's the only option in that ad. There's not 2 or 3 or 5 different things they should do. It's the only option. And I also recommend this for the landing page that you send people to from the ad as well. Another big mistake people make is they send people to landing pages that have like 5 different choices that somebody can do. Again, if people have that much choice, they're probably going to choose nothing because it's too much info. So make sure it's compelling, simple, and concise. And then lastly, a couple other final elements for high-performing ads. They don't always have to be this, but something that is timely. Maybe you're talking about something that's currently going on either in the world or the time of year that we're in, whether it's revolving around holidays or sales or whatever the case may be. But having content that's timely can really help and make a big difference. Also, fear of missing out and having a sense of urgency with whatever it is you're teaching or selling or doing. You're not always going to have this, and you want the sense of urgency to be real. You don't want to make it up. But when it is real, when there is a deadline for an offer of some kind, you definitely want to make sure that you properly say that in the ad, on your landing pages, and anywhere else that you're doing this, because it's super important and can really help the performance of an ad. So these are the elements that I recommend for high-performing ads. Like I said earlier, not every ad is going to have these. There's different ads for different things, and there's different goals on your ads depending on what you're doing. But I highly recommend you guys test these out on a number of different ads. And like I said earlier, you can even use this almost as a checklist to see if your ad has some or all of these things. And then let me know how it does. This stuff is super powerful. All right, my friends, episode 341 is in the books. I hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving this week if you're in the US. And I've got some great stuff coming up in the upcoming episodes. I will talk to you guys next time. Peace out.
Thanks for listening to the Next Level Facebook Ads Podcast. Please remember to subscribe and share this with all your friends. For show notes, more tips, and to learn more about Phil, please visit philgrahamdigital.com/podcast.